Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your June the 25th spiritual principle, a day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation and see what we have. The title is Building Connections. If you need to reach me again, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Okay, building connections. Through our self-disclosure, we feel connected with humanity, perhaps for the first time in our lives. That comes from It Works, Step 5. As new members, we come in disjointed, distracted, and disconnected. Our divisions, our better thans and less thans, and our walls are firmly in place. Ego and pride, self-loathing and self-pity dictate our interactions. We look outside ourselves to justify why we don't feel connected. But soon we begin to hear and absorb other recovering addicts' stories. We observe a theme that's also reflected in our step work. We are getting in our own way of connecting with others. The process of breaking down walls takes more than a single admission that we need to be more open. Building real and enduring connections with other NA members is more than acknowledging that similarities outweigh differences. It takes time and it takes effort. As we listen to others self-disclose, our courage grows and we start to share ourselves. For most of us, our walls weren't as heavy duty as we thought they were. They don't take as much time to break down, or at least begin to see over, as they did to build. When we peer over our walls or peek through the cracks, others begin to see us too. The acceptance, understanding, and often identification that happens when we tell the truth about ourselves encourages us to open up more. Parts of our walls may remain standing. Some self-protection is only natural, but we build roads now. We find people in the rooms, usually just a few, including our sponsor, whom we allow to see and connect to the entirety of who we are. Self-acceptance and hope travel along those roads. In NA, our purpose is to extend the connectedness we acquire to new members who, like us, stumble into NA, not yet aware that their walls aren't long for this world. When we share ourselves, the road toward connectedness awaits all of us. Today, I'll try to dismantle my walls and build roads in their place. I'll be unafraid to let another person know me better. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Building connections through our self-disclosure. We feel connected with humanity, perhaps for the first time in our lives. So we're talking about something that we can control. So this feeling of loneliness, this feeling of being alone, of isolation, is to a great extent in our control. The mindset that puts me in a position where I'm not connected with people, often I can't change those thoughts, right? Often they just are intrusive. Oh, they don't like me. Well, she acts like she doesn't like me. I don't think she's not serious. She doesn't like me. I could tell by the way she talks when I'm around. I know she doesn't like me. So why should I bother giving or disclosing anything about me to this person? They don't really like me. So these intrusive thoughts that come that are similar to what I just shared, they may come uninvited. That's why they're called intrusive, right? They just come. But what I do when a thought like that comes to me is very much in my control. That's why we use this term here through self-disclosure. By me being able to disclose who I am, what I've passed through, share with others, I begin to open up a door that allows others to see into me, or a door to intimacy, right? So we find out through self-disclosure the positioning of other people towards us, because now they begin to understand more about us and expound on things that they've passed through. And before you know it, we're sharing, we're developing a relationship, we're becoming connected just through that one act of self-disclosure. The door can be open to great relationships. So I want to speak to the fact that sometimes the walls that we put up around ourselves, a lot of times we did it because we felt that's what protected us. That's what we needed to do. That was the only way to make sure that we didn't end up hurt or devastated. Oftentimes that's the case. But in reality, we get into the fellowship and we find out, well, some of us find out that maybe some of those walls still need to be there, those awarenesses, the discernment, right? Especially if we're still trying to do the same things with the same type of people, except with the exception of the fact that they get high. But sometimes we're still hanging out with the same people. So there are times when we might have to put up a wall, a barrier, right, between us and others. But generally speaking, those that are working the program of Narcotics Anonymous, you don't need to protect yourself from them. There's no need, because they're working a program and they're moving forward the same direction that you're trying to move in. So today, let's challenge ourselves to be conscientious of the walls that we've already built up and decisively start tearing them down, bringing them down to the point where we can at least peek over the top. When a person is in prison, they generally speaking can see outside of their cell, right? Unless they're in solitary confinement, they can see outside of their cells. They can see other inmates out moving about, talking. They have time outdoors. But beyond that fence on the perimeter, they don't know what's going on downtown in the city that they're located, right? They don't know what the weather is looking like in another state. It takes coming outside of the four walls of that prison for them to have a concept of what the bigger picture is, the larger world looks like. And sometimes it can be frightening. Can you imagine someone that has done more than a decade of prison time coming out and having computers that you can make phone calls from, called smartphones, sit in the palm of your hand, that you can actually be on video and having a conversation with someone that you would never be able to even fly to or drive to? The world has become much smaller because of technology. Can you imagine the adjustment period that person would have to go through? It's the same thing coming into the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. We lived within a self-made prison. But now, through self-disclosure, we're able to open up the doors of that prison and see the beautiful world that exists outside of our intrusive thoughts. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. Be mindful of just how beautiful and different our lives have become. Take a chance on someone today. Disclose a little bit more about yourself to someone today. It doesn't have to be to everyone. We can pick and choose until we become more comfortable. Have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.